As Thomas Wayne continues his grim crusade to discover who altered his world, will the mystery end up bringing him directly into contact with a traveler from another universe? Well then, let's hop into the pages of Flashpoint Beyond issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, as we rejoin the book, Thomas Wayne Batman is going over his string theory board. Essentially, he just reiterates a bunch of information that you probably already know by now. Someone has trapped him in the Flashpoint universe, but also altered it for some unknown reason. This mysterious string puller was no doubt the one that sent Batman on a wild goose chase against Aquaman in Europe so they could blow up the Wayne Casino. We're also reminded at the same time all of this is going on, there's a mysterious serial killer under the codename the Clockwork Killer murdering any super being who may at some point have established the ability to time travel. You'd think Thomas might be interested in maybe looking up that part of this big mystery, but nah, he just admits it's going on before running off again, while also being sure to reiterate to the reader that nothing in this world matters and that it's pissing him off and making him more cruel and violent. And you know what, Thomas, if you don't care about what's going on, then how can you expect me to care what's going on? Thomas makes his way over to the rubble of what used to be his casino and main source of Batman-related income. He starts looking for clues, but in the end he's just kind of handed one by the commissioner. Apparently, one of Arkham Asylum's newest inmates, Roger Hayden, has been raving up and down about other worlds. Hayden, you'll of course know if you're a big DC Comics fan, is also the alter ego of Psycho Pirate, a very powerful DC villain whose basic gimmick is he's always able to remember what the world is no matter how many times it gets changed. Psycho Pirate's Medusa mask also had a strange interaction with the Button from the Watchmen universe, in doing so opening up a portal to the Flashpoint universe before it got destroyed the last time. Yeah, remember that, Thomas? You keep going on about how this Flashpoint universe doesn't matter and it's not real and that yours was destroyed despite the fact that we've thought it was gone at least twice before and it wasn't. Thomas does clue into a rather interesting idea though, and that is if he does manage to find the mystery string puller who's changing the Flashpoint universe and undo everything they're doing, what's to say that his world wouldn't cease to exist with him in it? By the time Thomas does actually break into Arkham Asylum though and find Psycho Pirate, he's already dead at his own hand, leaving nothing behind but a bunch of insane ramblings. He mentions Bruce's Batman, the Dark Crisis, Hyper Time, Infinite Crises, and even drops reference to Judy Garrick, as well as the Childminder, which were all new characters in Geoff Johns' Stargirl and the Seven Soldiers of Victory mini that I get the feeling no one else but me actually read. It's on his way out after once again turning up basically zero evidence. Thomas comes face to face with Gilda Dent. She had actually wanted to see him when all of this started, and naturally right now she's filled with questions about her dead husband and also her son Dexter that Batman has essentially adopted / kidnapped depending on your definition. She rambles for a little bit about how her and Martha were ultimately not so different and that Thomas's actions probably drove her mad long before she ever actually became the Joker. In fact, she kinda quantum phases in and out of looking like herself and also looking like Martha, to the point that Thomas gets so upset he punches the glass with her on the other side. Yes, that's right everyone, Thomas Wayne just tried to punch a mentally ill widow in the face. But if you find that distasteful, don't worry, because what happens next is even grosser. Gilda goes out of her way to scar up her own face with the broken glass, essentially becoming this world's Two-Face, only instead of flipping a coin, she flips a charred up poker chip from the Wayne Casino. Batman once again leaves empty-handed, but on his way out he hears a mugging in a nearby alley, and oh look, it's the Rogues, everyone, who in this world aren't supervillains, they're just regular run-of-the-mill hoods. Thomas takes an almost perverse joy in brutalizing these criminals, breaking their bones, saying that he's finally back to the way he was always supposed to be, back to himself. But before he can pick up a gun once again and execute this world's Captain Boomerang, he's actually stopped by this world's Superman, who once again reiterates the mantra of everything matters. That phrase was of course all over the last Crisis event, Dark Knight's death metal, and when Thomas read that word on a whiteboard, he got so pissed off he knocked it over. What does it mean? Your guess is as good as mine, honestly, but as the comic comes to a close, we once again head back to what I can only assume is the present, where Batman is still in the cave with Corky Baxter of the Time Masters. They talk about snow globes, specifically the snow globe that Batman had swiped from the Time Masters vault along with the watch that belonged to Dr. Manhattan's wife. Corky says says that while the Watch no longer has anyone to come for it, oh yeah, I guess if you were holding out for any Watchmen connections, everyone, there's that nipped in the bud. Corky says that the Snow Globe's owner is indeed coming, and once they get here, Batman is going to wish that he was dead. And so that was Flashpoint Beyond issue number 2, everybody, and once again, this series, just for one reason or another, continues to not sit right with me. It's angry, a little mean-spirited, and ultimately kind of directionless. Yes, I know Thomas himself admits that he's no detective, that's Bruce's department, but still, I can only watch him stumble from crime scene to crime scene and not actually learn anything. It's also really weird, too, to see Geoff Johns as a writer embrace a lot of stuff that Joshua Williamson is doing with one hand while also gleefully wiping away all the character work he had done on Thomas Wayne in the last couple years. And I really do mean wipe away, too. This isn't just Thomas taking a couple steps back and regressing as a character from everything he did in Justice League Incarnate and Infinite Frontier. This really does feel like he's been fully reset to the less interesting version of himself from the OG Flashpoint. And keep in mind, Thomas was not the main character in OG Flashpoint, he was a foil for the Flash. Thomas really has no foil in this story, and as such, I don't think he works nearly as well as a POV character. Maybe that will change now that Superman has showed up and seems to be a lot more hopeful than Thomas. But again, it could go either way at this point. Then, of course, there's the mounting mystery of the Time Masters, and you know what, I'm gonna come out and say it, I think Geoff Johns really thought we were gonna be way more excited about Corky Baxter and Rip Hunter than we all were. Don't get me wrong, I love weird, obscure comic book deep cuts as much as the next person, but when the backbone of your last story was working in The Watchmen and the backbone of its follow-up is the Time Masters, one of these things is not like the other. Overall, I'd give this one a 6.5 out of 10. The art is good, the action is certainly brutal, but I'm finding less and less reasons to actually enjoy myself the more this book goes on. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.